Hello friends, my name is Masood. Today we shall discuss about topic the release planning in Scrum. Friend, today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management, Scrum framework and software development. So let's start, friend. First of all, we have to understand that what is the concept of release planning in Scrum. Basically, friend, release planning is a high level activity whenever we are working in a project for a project in a Scrum framework. We have to decide that what user stories or features will be delivered in the upcoming release. For example, like you are planning that for the next 1 month we will be working on 5 features required for a product. For example, customer can sign up into the e-commerce solution, customer can do the payments, for example. So these are, for example, there are 5 features which are required for a product, and features basically are required as user stories as well. So basically we are planning that what are the those features which will be included in the upcoming release of the sprint. It helps the Scrum team, product owner and the stakeholders to align on the overall product roadmap, set expectations, establish a timeline for delivering a valuable increments of the product. We know, friend, that whenever the sprint end we have a product increment. So release planning typically covers a longer time frame than individual sprints and focus on the product as a whole. Okay, so that means whenever we are completing the sprint, we have a plan that, for example, in the first sprint we will complete the sign up process, in the second sprint we will complete the payment process. In that way, for example, in the 5 sprints we will complete the product management or product catalog of the e-commerce, for example. So basically release planning is basically an activity in which we plan the features which are required for a product, how we will complete those. So the key component of release planning in a Scrum are, first one is the product backlog. Product backlog is basically the set of requirements which are required for the product, and product owner maintains the prioritized product backlog. Prioritize means the top priority product backlog item will be on the top and the low priority will be in the bottom, and a dynamic list of features, enhancements, bugs and user stories that represent the work to be done on the product. So product backlog is continuously refined and adjusted based on the feedback, changing priorities and market demands as well. Product owner is a person who basically maintain the product backlog in that case. Then release goals and objectives means the product owner collaborates with the stakeholders, especially with the business customers, to define the goals and objective for the upcoming release. That means what are their expectations, that what they want, that when they have the release, what they want in the release actually. These goals should align with the overall product vision, business strategy and customer needs as well. Capacity planning means that the Scrum development team consider its historical velocity. Velocity here means that the total story points completed in one sprint. Okay, so this is called as velocity. For example, 15 story points are completed in one sprint, so that means the team's velocity is 15. It basically, velocity is used to estimate how much work can be delivered in each sprint, and capacity planning help determine the number of sprints required to achieve the release goals here as well. For example, the release goals are cleared, so the in the capacity plan we will agree that 5 sprints are required to achieve the release goals. Then user story estimation means the Scrum development team estimates the effort, the story points or other relevant units required for high priority user stories in the product backlog. Story points is the efforts relative to effort required to complete the feature. This estimation helps in understanding the overall effort needed to achieve the release goals here as well. Then prioritization means the product owner collaborates with the team and stakeholders to prioritize the user stories in the product backlog based on business value, dependencies and other factors. The most critical and valuable features are scheduled for earlier sprints in the release. So prioritization is totally maintained by the product owner because he is the person who has complete knowledge about the product. Also, he is basically the bridge between the customer and the Scrum development team here as well. So he is the right person to prioritize the product backlog items. Then a risk assessment means that whatever the goal has been decided, whatever the features has been decided to deliver in the release. So this includes the technical challenges, dependencies, external teams, or uncertainties related to market conditions as well here. So based on the requirements, the risk assessment will also be done. Then definition of done means that clearly define the criteria at which the release will be the task will be completed, considered as completed or done. It outlines the criteria that must be met for a user story or feature to be considered complete. This ensures a shared understanding of the quality and completeness expected for each deliverable here as well. Then stakeholder communication, that means communicate the release plan and goals to stakeholders including customer, executives and other relevant parties. Set clear expectations regarding the features and functionalities that will be delivered in the upcoming release here as well. Then steps in release planning. First one is the gather requirements, means that understand and document the high level requirements for the release and ensure alignment with the product vision and business objectives. So first thing is the understanding about the requirement. Then prioritize the product backlog, means that product owner will basically prioritize based on the feedback received from the customer side, from the business side. Prioritization will be done on for the features. Then estimation for the user stories, means that once you have the clarity about the requirement, the estimation will be done. Like for example, you can use planning poker approach or any other referential story points. So based on that, you will assign a number or user story point for the story. Then velocity will be calculated, means that we have to calculate that how much generally the average stories points are completed by the Scrum development team in the sprint. We have to calculate that. Then create a release plan, means a high level release plan indicating which user stories will be delivered in each sprint. Adjust the plan based on capacity constraints, dependencies and feedback. Then risk mitigation means that identify and mitigate risk that could impact the release, develop contingency plan for addressing potential challenges, and regularly review and refine the release plan, incorporating feedback, adjusting priorities and adapting to changing circumstances here as well. Then sprint planning means before each sprint, conduct detailed sprint planning sessions where the team plans the work for the upcoming sprint based on the release plan. Then monitor progress means continuously monitor the progress of the release against the plan. You can use burn down chart or burn up charts to visualize progress and adjust the plan as needed. So release planning is an ongoing and iterative process in Scrum, adapting to changing circumstances and feedback. It provides a strategic view of the product development efforts, enabling the team to deliver valuable increments while maintaining flexibility to respond to evolving requirements.